Here's the story of how I made $10,000 a month selling candy. That's right, candy. So if you guys don't know, a few years ago, I started a small candy company. I was selling Swedish candy here in the States. Now, I actually started this business in 2020, many years before it blew up and went viral on social media last year. But I mean, like gummy and chewy candies, some of them are sour, some sweets. I made my own brand of candy and launched it here in the States. It started because I'm half Swedish and I grew up eating this amazing candy in Sweden every time I'd visit my family there. And I just realized it was so much better than American candy. So as I got a passion for entrepreneurship and launched some businesses here in the States, I figured, you know what, why not introduce Swedish candy here into the American markets? So that's what I did. That's the background of the business. And it took a while to get started. But when it did, I first launched on social media. I built a website myself on Shopify and I launched the business on to my Instagram. I built up a little bit of a mailing list and I got some orders that came in, but it wasn't consistent. Like once there was a spike when I launched it, and then after that it trickled off. What took me some time to realize is that you can't rely on organic traffic from one place, especially when you're starting a business, a new small business. So after a few months, I got my candy company on Amazon, and Amazon was huge for the business because Amazon brought in so many people that were typing on Amazon like Swedish candy or sour candy or healthy candy or something like that, where they didn't know my brand, they didn't know of Saturday Sweets, but they're already looking for candy. Like they're trying to buy something, which is why they're on Amazon searching for that stuff. That's the really cool thing about Amazon is they bring in so many people to the top of your sales funnel who are ready to buy, who are expressing interest in products like yours that would not have discovered you otherwise. So after I launched on Amazon, that quickly became my biggest platform where I was getting sales every single day. And with Amazon, it was pretty cool. It was on Prime. There was free shipping. I would just send it off to Amazon and they would take care of the rest. And that brought in multiple thousands of dollars in sales every single month while it was in stock. So Amazon was a huge part of the business. On top of Amazon, I also launched my candy company on Faire. Faire is an online marketplace that's more wholesale. So I think Amazon is like business to consumer, where you buy from the business or from Amazon and you get it straight to your door. Faire is a marketplace where they're not just buying 1 or 2 bags of candy at a time, they're buying a whole box, like a box of 30 bags all at once. And it's going to a store for that store to resell the candy at a higher price. That's what wholesale means. And because they buy it at a higher quantity, like 30 bags minimum, they get a discount for that compared to the price you pay on Amazon. So after I launched on Faire, now all these stores were searching for Swedish candy or sour candy, or they're looking for new products to have in their on their shelves. So I would get orders every single month from the Faire stores, and these orders would be higher average order value compared to Amazon, because on Amazon they came in a 3-pack. So somebody was buying like 3 bags at once for $15. On Faire, I've had orders as big as $10,000 all from one single store, or it could just be like a couple $100s. So you never really know, but Faire was a great place to also get some organic traffic for the business. And then I also had my one other platform. It was called Rep Rally. And Rep Rally was similar to Faire in the sense that I was wholesaling to individual stores. But the cool thing about Rep Rally was that they had commissioned sales reps that worked for their company that were selling my products on my behalf to the stores. So they'd have stores that they'd represent, and then in a territory, and then they'd go to these convenience stores, candy stores, and be like, hey, I got this new candy in, it's called Saturday Sweets, be a great fit for your store, can I put you down for a box? And then the store would sign it off and then put in the order. I'd ship out the order, the box of candy, straight to the store. So it was a cool concept, and that brought in a lot of orders also. So with a combination of those 3 things, with Faire, with Rep Rally, with Amazon, and also the 4th of my own website, and just getting some organic traffic from the sales on the website on Shopify, that's how I grew the candy company to over $10,000 a month. And it was all organic. No paid marketing. I wasn't doing ads anywhere. I wasn't going viral on social media or anything like that. It just goes to show you that if you have a good product and you put it on places, like you find out where to sell it, you can get some really good traction. So that was my first introduction to e-commerce and really getting a little bit of traction that made me feel belief, like what I was doing was right and that the business was working. And it was huge. I wouldn't trade that for anything. So would highly recommend you guys learn about all these other platforms to sell on. Even if you have your own website on Shopify, you're missing out on so many sales and so many customers if you're not on Amazon, if you're not on Fair, if you're not on who knows what other platforms there are. It really depends on what kind of a product you have, whether it's food or clothes or something bigger. So research anything you can about where to sell your product, list it, just get it onboarded, and you never know where the sales are going to trickle in from. So definitely take advantage of that. But that's the story of how I went from 0 to 10K selling candy. And who knows what's going to be the next $1 million idea. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that or want me to do a more deeper dive video on how to use those platforms or like selling on Amazon, what it's like, the pros, the cons, anything like that. I read all the comments. I appreciate the feedback. It all helps. All right, guys. Later.